Hey everybody. So we have dealt with our polar equations, we talked with trig and all this wonderful information. With trig, we've actually made triangles from like coordinates and points and knowing what quadrant one, quadrant two, quadrant three, quadrant four is, and then going from that point and actually creating a triangle. And so here, vectors is another way of dealing with that. And vectors are actually used like when it comes to engineering, and we're looking at the strength of structures, and like if a wind comes and causes a collapse, like what's going on with all that information. So vectors is going to be kind of very important when it comes to those that are planning on doing engineering. So here, before we actually go in depth with everything, first off, vectors deal with two different things. They deal with direction and they deal with length. Now, another word for length that you could hear is magnitude. So we have direction and we have length or magnitude. And when it comes to a vector, you could have one, for example, that deals with like our traditional XY plane. And so now as we have finished polar equations, now we're going to our vectors, which deals back with our XY planes. And later on, it could be a 3D figure or some of that sort, but we don't deal with that in this class. But a vector pretty much can go like this. This part right here would be considered our vector. But vectors don't necessarily have to come from the origin. You could actually have a vector that comes from here and up. You can also have a vector that could be up here and come down. So vectors can come at different angles, different spots, all depending on where the point is and where it's going. So when it comes to vectors, it's not just one solid thing of it stays right there and that's it. So with that, let's go ahead and look at some things. We're going to first talk about how to draw them, and then we're going to go from there. So we're going to look at examples 1 and 2, and then actually go from there. So example 1, we're going to draw vector 3, 1. And with this, a vector could be drawn as in that shape there with those with the greater than less than signs, or it could be drawn with brackets. It could be drawn like with a matrix type thing. Any of those things could work here. So when it comes to it, though, when it actually look at this, it's kind of like an XY plane. I'm sorry, like your coordinate plane. This is considered your X value. The second one is considered your Y value. So just like in an ordered pair, those are considered your X and Y's. So when we graph it out, we're going to graph it out just like an ordered pair would, like we would do for ordered pair. In this case, because we're just starting off, we're starting from the origin to draw this. And this is again just because we're just starting here. We're not actually doing other extra in-depth things. We would draw that like this. So our X would be 3. So we go for 1, 2, 3. Our Y would be 1. So we went up 1. And so all we do is we go ahead and go from here to this point here. So 3, 1. Oops, sorry. And we draw the arrow. And if you look at it, you can also go a different way with it. You can kind of make a triangle here also, here, knowing that this is 1, this is 3 down here to match up with what we said. Now, that pretty much is just drawing the vector. So this part right here is your vector. Now, another way of actually seeing vector, they might not say draw a vector. They might just actually do this. And they would say to draw it out. So this means the same thing as this. This symbol right here means the same thing as just drawing it out from here. And so that's all you would have to do. So just know these are the same thing. Same thing, different notation. Okay, so then let's go to example 2 because that was very easy. And here we're going to draw, and this is where we actually use the other notation. U -2, 3. And again, I'm going to just, that's the actual problem there, and let's put a dot right there, a period to end that, put a period there. Now here, another way of rewriting this so that we can actually see it again. So there's multiple ways of writing it. You can also see it this way too. And with it, each time again, just like we said the first time, this is your x, this is your y, this is your x, this is your y. So when we graph it out again, we would deal with our x and our y's, but we have to make sure we're in the right quadrant, the correct quadrant. So when we draw this out here, and draw this out correctly, we need to make sure that our x value is negative. So if the x value is negative, that means we need to come on this side. So you have -1, -2, -3. On the left side is the negatives. Then come up 3. 1, 2, 3. And we just plot that point. So over 2, up 3. And I apologize, I didn't label this. And again, since we're just starting right now, we're going to focus just on the origin going up to it. And there we go again. And again, if you wanted to see it using like the triangle portion of it, again, you can say, okay, well, we went over -2, went up 3, and it makes that triangle right there. So we're dealing with triangles again if you want to, but it helps out. So that is our vector. So see, vectors are not really hard. So just keep going with this and keep trying it. It's not going to be bad at all.